This is just a brief tutorial on the website ISSUU that I spoke about in the podcast this week. Now, I decided to go ahead and do a short tutorial on this because I did notice that there was a lot of things that had changed since the tutorial that I had watched that introduced me to this site. And I just wanted to give you an overview of what I was finding on the site and how I was navigating it. So the first thing I want to show you is the listing of publications and books. There are lots and lots of them. And this is just the home page. And I am not sure how they determine what they're listing on the home page, if it's featured books or magazines or what have you. But I did want to show you that there is a wide variety of different types of publications and books and whatnot on this website. So you can do your own searches to see what is available. But I did want to show you what I am finding with the website and how I am using it so far. Now, like I mentioned in the podcast, some of the things that are, or some of the publications or books or magazines are just previews, while others are full books. So what I'm finding is as I scroll over an item, it's going to tell me read now or it will tell me preview. Now, so far, everything that says read now, that has been a full magazine or a full book or what have you. But if you scroll over and you see the words preview, that is telling me that it is only a partial version of this publication, and you can look at it and see the types of things that are in the magazine, and then you can base your decision on whether or not you want to subscribe to that magazine. So I just want to give you a brief overview of how I am finding different knitting magazines on this site, because as you can see, there is a lot of information, so much more than just crafting magazines. So the easiest way that I have found to find knitting magazines is just to come up here in the search bar and type in knitting and then search. Now, I am finding that it is rather difficult to track down specific books. Now, I haven't really looked for a specific book, say for instance, a specific magazine or what have you, but if you're just kind of trolling around on the website and you want to see some knitting books, you can try just plain knitting. And you will see there's some stacks here that have been pre-set up. And I believe that these are users who have selected books or magazines and put them in stacks. So you can do that as well. So if you find a book that you like, you can add it to a stack. And then you can easily find that book the next time you want to look at it. I have not set up any stacks, so I can't really talk further on that, but that is my interpretation. Now this one here is called knitting, so I could go to this stack and open this stack and look and see what books she has selected in knitting. There are 30 books here. However, if I scroll down, I will see more publications. And you can see that there are some big name publications here. But as you scroll over, you will see preview, preview. This is a read now. This is a preview. So if you're looking for a book, for instance, maybe you want to buy this, Knit Never Felt Better, but you don't know anything about it. You want to order it from Amazon, but you don't want to have to purchase the book and find out you don't like it. You can preview it right from here. So that is what I'm finding here. So let me just show you the preview. So let's go into the preview. And it will show you a few pages. It usually starts at the beginning, and you can use the arrow buttons over here to advance the pages. And down here, it's going to tell you how many pages that are in the preview. Now, in some cases, in the preview, you will have patterns, but they might not include all of the instructions. So beware when you try and knit a pattern from a preview, because you might not have all the instructions. So that's the only thing that's listed here or shown here is 18 pages. You can zoom in. Obviously here I just zoomed in. I just double clicked. I just clicked on it and zoomed in, and then move around to see things close up, to read additional information, because you can't really read that from here, but you can click in and read it. You can also share this document via Pinterest if you want to pin it on your Pinterest board so you can remember it. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter. You can email the link, or there's more you can do on Tumblr, Google, and LinkedIn. You can also download, and all you would do is click the download button. Now I am using Safari on a Mac, so you might be seeing something slightly different if you are on a PC or on a different browser. But I'm guessing that most browsers are going to be the same thing. If you are looking for something specific in the book, you can do a search. I'm not sure if it will take you right to the page that there's a search, or if the actual text is searchable here, but there is a search feature. You can also add the tiles at the bottom here, so you can just click on the certain pages that you want to go to directly instead of having to flip through all the different pages. You can also expand this entire page for your full screen rather than just looking at it in a window. Then you also have, when you're expanded, you also have sliders so you can zoom in and get much closer. And then you can also advance pages as well. You'd have to zoom out to be able to see the entire page. And when you're done, you can just exit out and go back to your main screen. So like I mentioned on this, to get the download, you can come over here and click download. But I do want to mention that not all publications are downloadable. So let's go back to this page. So now let's look at, now that we've looked at the preview, let's look at something that says read it now. And I'm just finding out that the read it now can be a bit deceiving. So let's go in and look at it. So here you have the magazine cover, and the first few pages will show you some things that are in the magazine. And I'm discovering that even though there's 124 pages in this magazine, this is just a preview. And if I come down here and click on the tiles again, I can see some pages, and I can flip through the pages and see what they're showing. Now, all of these pages look to me like they're advertising other books or magazines. And if I continue to scroll, if I go to the next group, you will see that that is in fact what they are doing. So you are technically, this is actually not an Interweave Knits magazine. It is an Interweave Knits magazine, but it's an Interweave Knits magazine that contains all of the different Interweave books. But what you will also find if you go to share, that you cannot download this item. This is not a downloadable item. This is a view online only item. So like I mentioned in the podcast, you have to be a bit of a treasure hunter to find things that are going to be of interest to you. It's not like you're going to be able to just jump right in and say, "Oh, I want this magazine," and find it. That's not what's going to happen. But you can find some great finds on this website. For instance, this is a simple ferrule knitting. Now, this again is only a preview, but if you find something in here that you want to use, it is available for you for free. So if I go down to share, I can download this item if I so choose, or I can share a link on your social networks. So let's open this up here. There's only 9 pages in this book, and I'm assuming that this actual book is larger than 9 pages, but you have a page that shows you some of the patterns that are in the book, and a couple of pages that actually have the patterns and the instructions. So if I zoom in, there's the instructions for that pattern. They have written instructions and charted instructions. And same thing with this pattern. So if I want to do one of the few stitch patterns that are included in this sample, I can. Now, if I want to do one of the other stitch patterns, I'd have to buy the book. But at least you can get an idea of how well the book is written from this preview. It also gives you this pattern, which I'm not sure. It looks like it's the entire pattern for the mittens. So if you're looking to do some mittens, you might be able to knit a pair of mittens based on the instructions that are included in this preview. Here is another special find that I have found on this website. This is Love of Knitting 2012. And I can open this up and I can see that there's 100 pages. If I click on the little tiles down here, I can scroll between pages, and it appears that this might be a full publication, including patterns and instructions. So again, you would have to really spend some time and look at what's available. Again, I don't know if all of the instructions are included on these pages. Let's see. It appears when I'm looking at these pages that they're all, this is 10 and 11, and if I continue to turn the pages, it appears that all the pages for this magazine are here. But again, I ask you to proceed with caution when starting a pattern from an online publication. Make sure that you have read through the entire pattern before you begin to make sure that all of the information is available for your pattern. I would hate to see you buy yarn and start working on a pattern only to find out that all the information was not included on an online magazine. In this particular case, you cannot download it again, but you can read it online. And if you add it to your stacks, then you will be able to find it if you need to look at it again. Me personally, I would find it very cumbersome to have to be referring to an online magazine all of the time, that I couldn't if I couldn't download it in a PDF form. But if I love a pattern enough, I would not mind purchasing the magazine in full. But you can get a good idea of what the magazine's like and make that determination on your own. I do want to show you some of the quality that is available in some of these free publications. And I guess I should say some of the lack of quality, which I mentioned in the podcast as well. Here is a book that I found that looks to appear that has all the pages. However, when you start to scroll through, looking at them at this distance, they look, oh, okay, fine, great, I can do the pattern. But when you get to the pattern pages and you zoom in to be able to look at them, the quality of the text and the images is very poor. Now, if you were desperate and you needed to do this pattern, I'm sure you can read it and figure it out. But for my personal taste, I would not want to have to work from this pattern. If I was going to do this pattern, I would buy either the PDF version or the print version of this particular book. But again, if you're on a budget and you don't have the money to buy the book, but you want to still knit the pattern, this may be an option for you. But I did want to show you that the quality is just not there. And what it is that somebody has taken this book and scanned each and every page and posted it on their site or on their, this is the ISSUU. You can upload your own documents. But because the quality is not great, that's what you get. Now, if you bought this book from the publisher as a PDF, I'm sure that it would be crisp and clean and it would be perfect. But this particular version is not of the best quality. So again, you do have to really seek out what you're looking for and determine if it's worth your effort to download or to view online or what have you. Now, I believe that book there was a book that you can download. But again, I wouldn't want to work from that sort of quality. Nope, you can't download that book. I thought that was one of the ones you could download. But I would not want to work from that sort of quality. So I would either determine if I wanted to buy the book or I would just move on to a different book. But again, it is a cool website and a great way to check out new to you publications or books to be able to determine if you want to buy a new book or get a new subscription to a magazine. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on ISSUU. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.